I'm a massive advocate of transparency and sharing the numbers with team and getting them to understand what these numbers are telling us about the health and performance of our business. Peter Drucker, the management guru, said, what you measure gets managed, and what gets managed will improve. So let me explain that a bit more. The lack of understanding of the numbers, starting with a business owner and then embracing everybody in the team, is a real problem. And the problem is that we're not using numbers to see how well we're doing against a scorecard. If you take any game, what's it like where you don't track the score? It's chaos, right? It's anarchy. It's people just running around with a ball without any purpose. But the minute you've got a scorecard and you start measuring it, then it drives the right kind of behaviours, trying to improve whatever it is. And I think it's the same for a business. If you're not explaining a profit and loss to your team members, then they're assuming that revenue equals money in owner's pocket, and that's far from the truth, isn't it? Because sometimes your net profit might be 10% or less. You're paying everybody else first before you pay yourself, and there may not be anything left over. So if they're not understanding that, then how are you going to get them bought into improving any of that? If you start explaining the P&L, gross profit is a calculation for a services business, based on the efficiency and the productivity, then they'll start getting their head around why tracking time and billable hours is really important, just to use one example, or how important it is to purchase efficiently, effectively, because those percentages of margin that you save can make all the difference between being profitable and not profitable, or how important it is, how cash flow is the lifeblood of the business. And if we're not invoicing fast enough and collecting fast enough, then you're creating a cash gap. If your team are not understanding these things, then I think you're at competitive disadvantage. Now, if they understand it and they get bought into it, then they'll be looking for ways of improving it. And if they have line of sight between the job they do and the responsibilities they got with that bottom line, then and they're consciously looking for ways of improving. I've seen transformational impacts in business by engaging them with that. So they get a much stronger sense of accountability, that if I do a good job and my reward is directly correlated to the success of the business, then they'll start putting more effort in, and they'll look at ways of innovating and improving, of retaining that customer, of squeezing that extra bit of value, doing the upsell and cross-sell, identifying new opportunities and so on. So we create a culture of everybody in the team looking for ways to improve, because they're connected. Now, if there's no incentive that they have in the long term, then that might be a problem, because they're not going to be busting a gut just to make you as a business owner more money if there's no other purpose there. So I think business owners need to think about that and say, what is the purpose that we're connecting the team into? And they don't have to be disconnected. Owner's reward, shareholder reward, and team reward can be entirely connected, and that's where we talk about, a growth pathway for team through different stages. We talk about incentive schemes. We talk about longer-term incentive schemes and shorter-term incentive schemes. So, but I think that's the job. That's the job if you really want to structure a business at scale.